Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
The following portion of Living Local Carolina is sponsored by City of Lake City, South Carolina. There's only one reason that we would take a little road trip up to Lake City, South Carolina. I'm with Savon. Dude, thanks for having me today.
Hey, thanks for letting me come talk to you. The honor is mine.
We have so much to talk about, and we've been chatting for the last couple of minutes because you have AgeCon coming up. This is your baby. Listen, you just have to tell everybody what this is and what to expect here in Lake City.
All right, so where to begin? So first and foremost, AgeCon stands for Anime Gaming and Entertainment. It is a 2-day event that we put on in the city for our youth and our families. So to give you a little bit of background, the city has a esports program that I run, and we started out with having esport tournaments. So we did 2 of the tournaments. We called them Lake City Smackdown. Great events, but we noticed that a lot of our local community wasn't coming out to the events. And that stemmed from they couldn't afford it, they didn't know about it, or because they just didn't feel confident enough because, you know, top competitors come out to play, especially when there's a cash prize on the line. Yeah. So taking that information, kind of, you know, looking at the community, really doing my homework, I realized that, you know what, these kids don't get the opportunity to leave Lake City. And so I thought to myself, I love conventions. I've been going to conventions since I was in high school. So why not bring it to him or bring it to them? And so that's kind of where the start of it came from. And, you know, we decided to go for it, decided to do it. We wanted to make it something lighthearted, something fun, something that really introduced the culture of conventions to the people. And so, we did a contest for the logo. We did a contest for the logo to really get the local community involved with it. So the actual logo came from a local from Florence, if I'm not mistaken, from Francis Marion University. So that was really cool. So the whole premise of AgeCon, like I said, is it's a premier entry event that focuses on introducing people to the culture of the convention scene. So we do things that ranges from arcade cabinets, from panels, to vendors, to voice actors, voice actresses, food trucks, VR, you name it, we do it. We wanna make sure that there is something for everyone, every little bit of it, for all ages, hence the name, AgeCon.
Yes, and I want to oversimplify this. Okay, for somebody that does not know, esports, we were talking about this, that it's not just video games. Right. This is a community of people that all come together, and there's so many different aspects of it that you wouldn't know.
Yeah, you're exactly right, yes.
Okay, so tell me about what you have done in this realm, you know, to get to where you are right now.
Man, that's a lot. That is a lot. So first and foremost, esports, you know, like you said, people don't know what esports is. And at the surface level, it is more than just playing video games. Esports is camaraderie, building teamwork, learning social skills, giving people a place that they don't have a home. So for me, my journey really started at an early age, learning about competitive, wanting to be a part of competition, and then eventually that led into commentating and shoutcasting, which for those who don't know what that is, think of any other sport, it's the same thing just for video games. And so that then led me here in Lake City doing the same thing, which then our city administrator, William Hall, he asked me if I wanted to come down and run an esports program. And so I said yes, and here I am running an esports program for the youth, for the kids. I'm in the schools, high schools, middle schools. I run camps, and I pretty much just expose them to the scene, to the culture of esports.
I love it. Well, for someone watching right now that wants to get tickets and wants to know when everything is happening, where can they learn more information?
Beautiful question. So first and foremost, we now have a website. It is called ageconsc.com. So ageconsc.com. And then you can also follow us on Facebook, Anime Gaming and Entertainment. And we also have an Instagram, Anime Gaming and Entertainment as well.
This portion of Living Local Carolina was sponsored by City of Lake City, South Carolina.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Well, honestly, I feel like I need to give quite the introduction here because I'm with Quadre and you have many titles.
Yes.
And you've already been on the show as an artist, you're an entrepreneur, you're an author, and today you're a juiceologist.
Juiceologist.
Do you ever, sleep?
I do sleep, but at the same time, I gotta make sure I gotta, get the work done.
Yeah, he gets the work done. So why are you here today?
So I'm here today to introduce my new juicing book, and so we could actually create and make our own juice today.
I love it. And you wrote this cookbook with all your different juice recipes, but really you can kind of customize to your taste, to what you need.
Yes.
What do we have today?
So today we have one of our favorite juices that I like to make. It's called my Orangeade Power Juice. So we have green apples, we have oranges, we have carrots, and then we also have my favorite thing, ginger.
I love ginger.
Yes.
It's the best. All right, let's get to work.
Let's go.
Well, now we have everything chopped up and ready to go into the juicer.
Yes.
How does this work? I've actually never juiced anything before.
Okay, so this is what you do. So once everything is chopped up and ready, all you do is come over here to the juicer. You gotta make sure you have a plastic bag in the back compartment for where the rest of the things come. Yeah, so it doesn't fly everywhere, so it'll catch it for you. And then there's just a little knob. So there's low speed and high speed. Usually when I juice, I do it on high speed because every fruit has a different type of texture. So like the carrots are a little bit more thicker and harder than the apples and oranges.
Gotcha.
So once you flip the switch just like this, high speed,
It's about to get loud in here,
it's gonna
folks.
get real loud. So once I flip it back on high speed, I'm gonna pull this out. This is the presser. You're gonna drop the fruit down into the hole, and then all you're gonna do is just continue to push this down, and the juice will come out right here on the other side in the department.
Beautiful. To juicing to health.
Yes.
I'm not just saying it, that's so good.
Yes, it is.
That is so good.
It is.
Well, where can people find your cookbook?
You can find my cookbook online at www.GullaGeeChiFamilyFoundation.com. Also on Amazon.com, you can make a purchase.
Well, I'm back today at the Myrtle Beach Colored School Museum and Education Center, and I'm joined by Cookie. How are you, Cookie?
I am well. How are you, Katie?
I'm doing great.
Yes.
But tell me, where are we standing right now?
So right now we are standing in the Museum of African American History at the historic Myrtle Beach Colored School Museum and Education Center.
Yes.
So there's really several spaces, but the one is dedicated to the former students of the color school, and then this is African American history, where Doc Shee Moore serves as the curator, and it talks about or shares our life, the life of African American people in Africa prior to enslavement, and as dark as it was, it's part of history. So we share a little bit about slavery itself, and then some of the significant people, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, all of those up into current day with President Obama, Vice President Kamala Harris.
So talking a little bit about if people want to donate and help you guys out, how can they do that?
Yes, so we're continuously looking for artifacts as they relate to history, and so donations can be made simply by calling us 843-918-1062, or showing up here at the museum and bringing those artifacts. Now, I will say that in order for something to be deemed museum quality or museum eligible, there was a curator, for the classroom part, that a professional person, because, some people brought their grandfather's shoes or their grandfather's hat, and while that is so important and so special, we did not have the space for it. So we just want people to come by, and if they think they have something, but also for locals who have pictures from back in the day that they wish to share We're creating some things at Charlie's Place, which is one of the facilities that we manage, and it's also mentioned here in the Museum of African American History.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
This story is sponsored by Little River Medical Center. Well, I'm having so much fun just chatting with Reese at Little River Medical Center today. Thank you for sitting down with me.
Thank you, Katie, for having me. Thank you.
Well, let's start with a little bit about you and your background here at Little River and what you do now.
So, Katie, I am a reproductive health care coordinator for Little River Medical Center, but I am a nurse at heart. I'm an LPN. Walked into Little River Medical Center about 19 years ago, and I've had the great fortune of being able to work at Little River Medical Center and believe in our mission in reaching out to our community and helping those individuals who otherwise would not be able to get care in the medical world out there. We offer services that most private practices don't offer, and so I've been very fortunate to be a part of that. And so love reproductive health, love women's health.
Yes.
And so it's been a great mission for me, and I'm grateful to be a part of it.
And I know perhaps the biggest part of this is education with people that you
Absolutely.
see. Where does it begin for you?
So for my services at Little River Medical Center, it can begin at any point of care. Patients coming in, and typically, our young people, they get their well child checkups up until about age 18. But our reproductive health care services begin for our young people as early as 15.
Okay.
It can begin earlier depending on that young person's needs. But for us, it typically begins at about age 15. And reproductive health services or care can last you your whole life through no matter what age you are. So.
And you said this earlier, that things have changed quite a bit over the last 20 years, especially with the technology we have. I mean, what I'm seeing on the table here, a lot of this didn't even exist 20 years ago.
Not only did it not exist, we didn't talk a lot about reproductive health. So that was not conversations that a lot of us had at home, and certainly not in the schools. And so at Little River Medical Center, one of the things that we do pride ourselves in is we do a lot of education, we do a lot of counseling, but it's all about prevention. It's no longer about episodic care. It's about getting those age-appropriate services that we need all through the span of our life, and having meaningful conversations with our young people, with our young adults, and even our older men and women. Well, I do think that we need to let our community know that South Carolina is 4th in the nation for reported STDs.
Yes.
So it is so important that if young people are sexually active, or if you are sexually active and not in a trusted monogamous relationship, that you get tested for STDs at least annually or more often. You change partners, then you should get checked.
Yeah.
And not just for those routine chlamydia, gonorrhea, trichomonas, but for HIV and for HPV. It's so important that our young women get their annual well woman exams. Annually come in. You may not need a pap smear every year, but you certainly need an annual well woman with a pelvic, get a clinical breast exam, and certainly age-appropriate other screenings at 40. Begin your mammogram. And unfortunately, we now know that syphilis in South Carolina is on the rise with our older population.
This story is sponsored by Little River Medical Center.
Don't forget to like our page on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. How to use the QR code. Just open the camera app on your smartphone, iPad, or tablet. Point your device at the QR code so the QR code appears on your screen. Your device will recognize the QR code and show you a notification. Click that notification and you'll come to our website. Living Local Carolina, weekday mornings at 9:30 on WBTW News 13.